This week's episode is brought to you by Heroes One in Comics and Collectibles. Listen, if you live in the Middle Tennessee area, you have got to pay Mike and the gang at Heroes One in Comics a visit. I get my comics personally from there, and trust me, they treat you like family as soon as you walk in the door. Go to heroes1incomics.com for the location and their hours, and make sure you mention that Tyler Haynes from nerdwide.com sent you. Welcome back, everyone, to nerdwide.com's weekly podcast titled Hero Cravings, the Arrowverse, where we cover and break down all CW Arrowverse shows episode by episode for you, the listener. As always, I'm your host, Tyler Haynes, with my good friend and co-host, Chris Rivers.
What's happening, people?
How was your week, dude? Was it good?
Yeah, it was good. Kind of got a little nuts at the end, but, you know.
That's what happens when you binge watch all your shows.
Yeah.
Look, quick housekeeping. Let's get this out of the way. Don't forget to share, rate, and review this podcast on whatever podcasting service you use. Helps us get our name out there. And as of this episode, we are officially on YouTube, and we'll be doing our best to upload every single one of our Hero Cravings episode on there. So make sure you go to youtube.com/nerdwide and subscribe to us there. Don't forget that Chris recaps Blacklist and Blind Spot for Pure Fandom at purefandom.com, so make sure you check out his weekly recaps there. Excuse me. This is our 26th official episode, and let me give you a recap of how the show's going to go down. Each week we go through all of the Arrowverse TV episodes in order as they air. We're going to bring you our thoughts and reactions to every one of these episodes. That being said, we're just going to jump right on into it with Legends of Tomorrow, episode 316, titled I, Ava. Didn't get like a lot of story-driven episode until right at the end. But we started off with Sarah leaving the team, but not for good. She's just wanting to take a breather and take a break. Obviously from her and Ava breaking up last episode, and with her being taken over by the death total.
Right.
We put Maya in charge, which was very funny because Ray and Nate thought one of them would be in charge. So I thought that was a funny little nod. We see Rory using the fire totem. He's cooking hot dogs and popcorn with it, which, I mean, I would. So if you could use it.
Why not? And the funny part was, too, that Zari kind of got tasked with training him.
Yeah.
But that basically just meant babysitting.
Yeah, that's exactly what it meant. Which I didn't really see how he needed to be trained, because he seemed to have used it really well last week.
Yeah, I mean, he had it under control.
Right.
You know, when he was cooking food with it, it wasn't like he was burning the ship down. So.
Right. So I don't know, man. Yeah, it was in the writing. We found out she was on Ramadan as well. Zari was. So
yeah,
I thought that was very cool. And her and Rory went back and forth about not eating and eating pork, and it was very funny. That was like I guess the humor of the episode.
Yeah, he offers her a hot dog, and she said it's pork, and he goes,
"So."
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. We find out that Ava is missing. This episode is really two parts. The part with Ray and Sarah trying to go find Ava with Gary, and then with Nate, Wally, and Kuwasa trying to help. What's her name? Mari. So Mari is Vixen in 2018 and 2017. Which is Amaya's granddaughter, which is Kuwasa's sister. If you're following along, you already know the spiel.
If you're following along, you're doing better than me. All this time travel and...
Time travel's a crazy thing.
This person begat this person, but yet they're back here, and I don't know.
And this is that source's sister. Yeah, you know. If you're following along, just follow along. So... There is, at the Time Bureau, there is a black site that is the year 2213, and nobody in the Time Bureau is supposed to go to there. But before we find this out, we find out that Ava's parents that are in 2018 that live in Fresno are just actors. They're not really Ava's parents. Mm-hmm. And I'm pretty sure they're being paid by RIP. They didn't really say that. They're questioning who's paying them and who hired them. Pretty sure it's Rip because of what he did on the Wave Rider with Gideon regarding her file. but we'll find out, I'm sure. But Sarah, Gary, and Ray go to Vancouver 2213, which I thought was pretty funny because they film in Vancouver, to find out where Ava is, because this is a black site, and her little ID band, I guess time band, whatever you want to call it, went to 2213. And then they find a literal buttload of Avas. There's Avas everywhere, which kind of takes our theory of, is Ava a robot? Because that's what we thought with this name.
Yeah, because of the film I, Robot.
Yeah, so I don't. We still didn't really get. We'll get there. Kawasa betrays Nate. Who, go figure? They were all teamed up. They were gonna get the totem back for Amari. Amaya, excuse me. These names, man. These Ambazian names just throw me through a loop every single time. They formulate a plan. Wally goes back to the ship. So Nate and Kuwasa formulate a plan to get the Darks to where they are, so they can get the totem back to Amaya. Kuwasa does not do that. She betrays Nate. Kawasa leaves with the totem, and I forget, what was Nora doing this whole point? She was doing something, because she's like crazy Nora, crazy Mollis right now. They're like one and the same. But she went off and did something, and that left Damien and Nate, and it was one of the funniest scenes I've seen in a while for the show, because they were having like a heart-to-heart about what's going on in their lives and stuff like that. And I just thought that was very funny.
And Damien said that there was no longer any fun in his doing any of this.
Right.
You know?
They said, just worried about Nora. It's just a big problem right now. The team comes back. We found Nora comes back as well. There's a big fight scene between Nora, Amaya, Kuwasa, Nate, and Wally. Wally tries to go fight Nora. She takes his speed and then threw it back to him.
I'm not sure that she really took his speed. I think she took. I almost took it as she took his momentum, maybe.
Yeah, momentum, energy, maybe.
Yeah, because I think he was still able to run.
Right.
You know, it just, what she did temporarily stopped him.
So it was just, I think they could have done that or brought some dialogue in to help that. Because, what it looked like was she can see his speed. She was keeping up with him the whole time.
Yeah.
And then she touches him, takes the speed, throws him back, and then throws the speed force back at him. So, I can see either way, but I just feel like they could have added some dialogue to help that out.
That's one of those times I wonder if they filmed something like that and then they were trying to get the episode within time constraints and felt like we really can let that go. We don't need to explain it. We need to get this other stuff in.
Yeah, I guess that's one way to look at it too. Amaya tries to use her totem again, but she went all purple-eyed instead of blue-eyed like she normally does. And we found out that the totem is corrupt, obviously from Nora still using it, or still trying to use it. She ends up uncorrupting it somehow, some way. I felt like that should have been a bigger scene because of this season already. Her and Zari went to the totem world, or spirit world, and that was like a big thing, but she just did it like in half a second. She took back control. I don't know what that means. But Nora steals the water totem out of Kawasa, and Kawasa is now dead because that killed her. And we were wondering where her totem was. We found it, Chris. It was inside of her.
Yeah.
Obviously, Amaya has a big problem with this. Nora runs away, so Nora... we have all the totems at the Legends disposal besides the water totem now. So we got 5 out of the 6, which makes sense because we've only got 2 episodes left of this season. We're gearing up towards the end. And this episode ended with Amaya stealing a time ship and heading to 1992 Zambezi. That wraps up that group storyline. So let's go back to Vancouver 2213. We see a bunch of Avas. They're all clones. Um, didn't really get a lot of answers. We just found out that they're being cloned, and our Ava didn't even know about any of this. So I'm telling, like, it has a lot to do with Rip. So I'm curious to see how that plays out. I mean, do you have anything else to add to that little segment? Because I mean, I don't have anything else for it.
No, I think it's yeah. There's not really anything else there.
So we found out that Gary has dreams of Ava being naked, but Gary's a character. I tell you that.
I mean, look, he's a normal guy, right?
Right. That's true.
You can't help what you dream.
Right.
I think that would have been a great spot for Sarah to have said something to him like, "Yeah, I've had those dreams too," or so,
Yeah, well, she did. Because she's the one who said it first. She said, I've had a dream like this once. So, a lot of different Avas. Yeah. Gary said, oh, yeah, me too. That's where it all came from. Early numbers for this episode, 0.4 rating, which was pretty steady. 1.28 million viewers, which is down 0.03 from last week. And the next episode is, I'm pretty sure this is the title. Yeah. But because it's just very confusing to me. The title of next week's episode is titled Guest Starring John Noble.
Yeah, he's going to portray, I believe, himself
as
John Noble.
Okay, and then he's
Mollis. As well as voicing Mollis. It's going to kind of be their chance to get him on camera.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see how they're going to do that.
I have a question about the water totem, though.
Okay.
It bothers me.
All right.
Because when Nora took it from her, Kawasa turns to water, and Nora reaches in and
grabs it.
She grabs it. We've never seen that before, though. We've never seen her turn to water, and there's the water totem falling to the floor.
Yeah.
What the heck?
That's not the best writing, I would say, because I'm with you. That, that didn't make much sense. Because we've all these times she's turned to water, we're trying to fight her, and she turns to water. I don't know. She's dead now. I wonder if that throws a loop through the timelines.
Bye, Felicia.
Right. Bye, Kawasa. And don't forget, the finale is 2 weeks away. So we just got 2 more episodes of Legends. And then the week after that, Supergirl returns. And kind of excited because, not really, I'm kind of complacent about Supergirl. Because we didn't really get that much of a cliffhanger as they could have done for this hiatus.
I don't know that they had it planned when they...
That's probably true, too.
But there's some interesting story to play out.
Yeah.
And don't forget, too, we're going to get to see Jax and Jonah Hex in the Legends finale on the night.
We've still got a little bit of time. Oh, I forgot about that. I'm glad you put that in there because I forgot. Unfortunately, no Flash again this week, but we did get an Arrow, so that is our next show, Arrow episode 616, titled The Thanatos Guild, which is not the Thanos that you're thinking of in the Marvel Universe. No. This is Thanatos Guild. As we already know, Katrina Law was in this episode as Nissa Al Ghul. Finally, I love Katrina. Phenomenal actress. I'm real glad she was back. We get a Thea and Roy going away party in the Arrow lair. So it was just Thea, Roy, and the original Team Arrow, of course, with Quentin Lance is there as well. We find out that Diggle still wants to be the Hood, which, I mean, he was promised to be the Hood.
Take a step back, Diggle.
Yeah.
Take a step back.
Stay in your lane, buddy. We see Dinah and Curtis still working together, and we find out that Renee is about to start rehab. Of course, we never did see Renee. I know you're ecstatic about that, but we still did see like a Curtis and Dinah relationship going on.
Right.
and which I was glad about because it wasn't against Arrow or anything like that. They're trying to find out the corrupt cops in the Force because somebody is corrupt, which of course we know it's the captain. The new captain is under
Right.
Diaz, but they didn't know that. They're trying to figure this out. So we get a new character from this Thanatos Guild. It's not the League of Assassins, it's the Thanatos Guild. And the leader of it right now is Athena. She was Merlin's second in command all the way back in time for a couple of seasons ago, whenever we saw Merlin last. I guess it's the end of last season when we saw him last. But
Now Merlin started the Thanatos Guild, right?
yeah, because that was like
And it was like his offshoot of the League of Assassins.
yeah. And so like they're trying to come after Thea because Thea is the key to this ancient map for an ancient relic. Of course, Thea knows nothing about it because why would she? Because she has nothing to do with her father anymore.
Tyler's very, very sleepy.
No, I apologize. It's when we do all these episodes back to back. For some reason, I'm not tired. I just yawn. Curtis and Dinah think that the police captain is corrupted by Diaz. Then they don't think she's corrupted. Then they find out she is corrupted because Diaz is now pushing Vertigo, which is again a blast from the past for Thea. And I felt like we'll talk about it later about it. Hold that thought. I was getting ahead of myself. We get a team up of a lifetime to me, and I put in the notes the team up we've been wanting to happen because we see Nissa, we see Roy, we see Thea, Diggle, Green Arrow, and technically Felicity all team up to try and take down this Thanatos Guild. And I feel like it was an epic moment. We didn't see Roy become the Arsenal again, but
Right.
we did see him with a bow and arrow and just some great team ups. It's just great all around. We see Thea shoot Athena, didn't really kill her. I thought she died, but she didn't die. Nissa says, "Yeah, you can't really kill her. She's pretty hard to kill." We get this map out of this cube about this whole episode we were going down, and the map showed ley lines, which if you remember from last was it last season? No, it was 2 seasons ago of Arrow with Damien Dark. His magic power came from ley lines, and they even mentioned Damien for a minute. So all these ley lines meet up, and we find out that Merlin had found 3 Lazarus pits. 3.
Right. Yeah.
If you remember, we destroyed one. I think Thea did, or Nissa. One of the two destroyed the last Lazarus pit that was in the end place. Nan Parbat, whatever that was, the League of Assassins.
Yeah.
So, well, we found out there's 3 more. I don't know. No one's gonna stay dead in this show, Chris. Period.
No, never. Well, Warner Brothers will make sure that the Suicide Squad doesn't show back up.
Yeah, that's a
Stuff
valid
like
point. Curtis gets him a new boyfriend or a new date. Don't really even know if it's a boyfriend. We find, like I said earlier, Diaz is bringing back the drug of the past, Vertigo, which with the Count. I wonder if we'll see the Count again. But I texted you after I watched this episode because I said I almost teared up, I almost cried at the end of this because, like at the very beginning of the episode, Thea, Roy, and Nissa are all leaving the show. I believe it's not for good. I'm sure we'll see Thea show back up again. I'm really surprised we saw Roy pop back up, but they are all 3 going out to destroy the 3 Lazarus pits. And it was a very emotional goodbye between Oliver and Thea. Mm-hmm. And then, if you're watching on YouTube, I'm putting up a picture now of the tweet that the writers wrote for Arrow, and I'll read it off real fast while I'm thinking about it. They said, "Shout out to the amazing Willa for 6 years of playing Thea Queen with emotion, grace, and talent. So thankful that you have been a part of our family." What that tells me is that Thea is not coming back on the show. So thank you, Willa Holland. Hopefully we'll see you more at cons to thank you in person. But thank you for being on the show. Thank you for being Oliver's sister for the past 6 years. It's been great. Hate to see you leave. Didn't see that coming, honestly. But that begs the question, Chris, do you think we'll ever see any of this trio again?
Yes. I think we'll see. I'm not sure about Roy.
Right.
Um, I think we'll see Thea again. I think, from what I read, she just didn't want to do it full time anymore. So I doubt that she would turn down the opportunity to come back for an episode or two a year,
Yeah.
maybe. Um, and I think we'll see Katrina Law show back up. If not on this show, on another show
Well, that's just
in the Arrowverse.
yeah. I didn't see it coming. I mean, they're obviously not dead, so it was
Right.
a good peaceful goodbye. But like it's just the sheer emotion. It wasn't so much a character saying goodbye to another character. It was actor saying goodbye to another actor between
Well,
Willa Holland and Stephen Amell.
yeah.
And you could tell it was very emotional between the two. Because I mean, Thea's been on Willa Holland's been on every single episode, well, every single season and episode since the beginning. So well, not every single episode, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. I
So
mean, just
very emotional.
kind of keep in mind too that they could do something, and they tie these shows together so well. They could actually have small story arcs on some of the other shows in future seasons that lead to one of the Lazarus pits where this crew shows up and ends up destroying that particular Lazarus pit.
Right.
So I mean, you could see them pop up on the Flash
Right.
or
Legends even.
Legends, and for a single episode, just pop in, boom, you're out.
Well,
So it's possible.
do you think we're going to see Malcolm Marlin again? Because he knew about these three Lazarus pits. I mean, again, the last time we saw him was last season, well, the beginning of this season, where he got blown up by a landmine. Well, we didn't see him get blown up. We assumed he got blown up by a
Right.
landmine.
Um, it's like we always say about these shows: no one's ever completely dead.
Right.
So I could see it happening. I mean, the fact he's obviously still involved. Um, so as far as being around, I think it would have been cool if they had um, a nod to the fact that we don't know that he's dead for sure.
Right.
But yeah,
I don't know. I'm just kind of glad that, which was weird to me, because we say goodbye to Thea pretty much, but we don't, and we got the vertigo drug as well, that was her big drug problem. So I don't know.
and
That was a coincidence, or it might have just been like a nod to her problem with the vertigo.
the other thing that I liked about this episode is the fact that they're about to discover um, the police captain
Yeah.
being on Diaz's payroll, and I think what that's going to allow is for Curtis and Dinah to start healing those wounds between them and
I hope
Oliver
so.
and Felicity.
Oh man, I hope so. Yeah, I guess we'll find out next week. Early numbers, we got 0.4 rating, which is pretty steady. 1.12 million viewers, which is down 0.16. And this is the lowest overnight rating for a non-Thanksgiving episode of this season. What does that mean, Chris? 0.4.
Well, we talked, I think last week or the week before, that with the time change, there's typically a drop in ratings.
Mm-hmm.
And Arrow has been struggling compared to the other shows in the Arrowverse to pull ratings this year. So the fact that it's dropped to this level, not entirely surprising.
Right.
I think it sucks that it happened for the episode that was Willa Holland's goodbye episode.
Yeah, it came out of the blue though. And I think that they didn't really advertise her leaving the show or anything like that. So it's just like I didn't see this coming at all. If anything,
And
Roy and Nissa would have gone off, and Thea would have stayed because she has an obligation to her brother.
and they did see it coming because from what I read, they knew during season 4, she let him know that her contract was up at the end of this season, and she had already made her mind up to not re-up on a full-time contract, and she even asked that this range of episodes be where she be written out. So
I don't know. I want Stephen Amell's thoughts on it, on her leaving the show, because he's. I mean, they're probably not bad, but probably emotional as well.
Well, you need to get an interview with him, Tyler.
Shoot, I got a lot of things to ask that man, which we'll see. We'll see what the future holds. Next episode is titled "Brothers in Arms." I got nothing for that one.
I can only imagine it's going to be old Team Arrow and new Team Arrow, kind of.
Trying to take down the dirty cops.
Yeah.
I hope so. Chris, it is time for the fan favorite segment that is Douche Canoe of the Week. Who is holding this horrendous honor?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Tyler. I never saw that coming.
Right.
It's got to be Nora.
Yeah. Or I guess the Nora Mollis combo.
Yeah, she's almost, even when she's not Mollis, she's almost to the point of being bratty.
Yep.
And it's like she completely forgot the kind way that the Legends treated her, when she was younger. And then even went after her own dad when she saw that he was not harming Nate like she thought he was.
Mm-hmm. It's that fits that title so absolutely well. Chris, now for this new segment, we got Hero of the Week.
Right.
And I know for dang well that this is the first time for this person. Who holds Hero of the Week's honor?
Looks like it's gonna be the one and only time for this person.
Potentially, remember, no one ever stays dead.
That's true, but it's it's Kuwasa.
Yeah. I don't like how. Well, I mean, I like how she turned on Nate, but that was because she was for her own existence.
Yeah.
But she also was at the hospital trying to protect her sister, and she did come back and protect Maya.
Right.
But R.I.P. Kawasa.
For now.
For now, if possible, I don't know. She might have still lived. They might have got her back to the time ship. I don't know how this works, Chris.
Yeah, she could be living in the lake out there.
Yeah, it's true. Just waiting to be reformed.
Who knows?
Chris, what was your favorite episode this week?
They were both really good.
Yeah.
But I liked Legends a little bit better than Arrow. I think probably what did it for me was just getting that answer on what is Ava.
Yeah.
Now that we know that we know that there are Ava clones, but we don't know if the Ava we know is the human being that they were cloned from, or if she's one of the clones.
Or just a mind of her own.
Right. So I really dug that because it really gave us answers on a major aspect of the series. Arrow was good. I don't know. I think the next couple of weeks I'm probably going to like Arrow even more. I like episodes. I've said this before, where big, huge things happen and we get answers, and that's what set Legends apart for me.
Yeah, so mine this week was Arrow, and it was because of the emotional goodbyes and everything, and
Right.
Katrina Law being in the episode. But I liked it more than Legends did. But Legends did very well as well. Again, it was a tough one, but we see a little bit more of this Thanatos Guild. We see Katrina Law back in the episode. We see Dinah and Curtis acting like a good team and not being whiny. Curtis is moving on with his life now. Renee wasn't in the episode, so I mean that's always helps. A good one.
Yeah.
Oh, Chris, you got anything else for this week before we close out?
No, not really. I'm looking forward to seeing where those two shows go next, and yeah.
because we're getting real close to Legends. So things are going to heat up real fast.
We get Flashback this week, right?
I'm pretty sure we do.
So we'll have 3 of them to talk about next week.
Yeah. So I'm really excited. I love the Flash and where it's going to. So make sure you tune in next week, everybody. And again, that is it for this week. Make sure you share this podcast around and rate and review it on whatever podcasting service you use. Don't forget to check out our YouTube and subscribe to the YouTube channel there. You can see the visual. We'll be putting pictures up. You can see my beautiful mug and Chris's face there.
Well, we want people to subscribe.
Oh, okay. That might take me out then. Make sure you subscribe there. Give us a thumbs up if you liked it. And don't forget to trigger that bell so you get notifications whenever we upload an episode. Don't forget to follow NerdWide on Twitter at nerd_wide. You can follow me personally at Ty_Haynes. And you can follow Mr. Rivers at MavTN7. We do occasionally do live tweeting of the streams on our NerdWide. So just keep that in mind, and we'll let you know if we plan to beforehand on the NerdWide Twitter. And if you do follow us on any of those Twitter names, don't forget to let us know what show you came from, and we'll spark up some conversation with you, the fans. But, as always, I'm your host, Tyler Haynes, with the man himself, Chris Rivers, and we cannot wait to share our thoughts with you next week. Have a good one, everyone.
See you, people.